Hello everyone. I hope you are doing well and you went through our last budget video and I hope you liked it. So we will continue today the next session on budget and first we'll quickly go through a recap of what we learned in the previous class and then we'll continue the session. So first we learned that about Article 112 that budget is not mentioned in the Constitution. Department of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Finance is the nodal body. There are two parts, Part A, Part B. Part A is also known as Economic Survey. And what all other documents are presented along with budget, and the Union Finance Minister presents the budget. Next, we saw that the Article 112 directs the Union government to present the budget into two parts, the receipts and the expenditure. We then saw the various components of receipts and expenditure. This is a very important slide. A lot of MCQs can come from this. Next, we saw what all creates the non-debt creating receipts. We then went through the general objective any budget wants to have or wants to create in an economy or a country. These were the five. Next, we saw why this budget is important. First is the Amrit Kal, then is the G20 presidency, and also this is the last full budget of the present ruling government before the election gets announced next year. The next year's budget will be an interim budget, and you should know what is the difference between an interim budget and a full budget. We saw a key initiative since 2014. According to government, the key initiatives which helped the Indian economy was first the size of our economy increased, the per capita income increased, there was formalization of economy and how we calculate the formalization of economy. First is through the doubling of EPFO membership and second is the increased digital payments. You should also keep yourself updated with the current affairs. For example, presently UPI has come in partnership with PayNow of Singapore to start digital payment services in Singapore. Next, how efficient implementation of many schemes were taken by government. Next, we saw the macroeconomic fundamentals and how Indian economy survived the COVID period. We saw the fiscal deficit trend, we saw the GST, we saw the steadily increasing trend in the capital expenditure of Union government and the steadily decreasing trend of non-performing assets. These two are important trends because no trend is specifically steadily increasing or decreasing. So these are exceptions and exceptions are source of MCQs and questions. Next, we also saw our forex reserves, how they have helped us during the COVID period. Next, we saw the converging of the wholesale price and the retail price. You should know the difference between what constitutes the wholesale price and what constitutes the retail price or the CPI consumer price index. Next we saw what all were the three visions of Amrit Kal, very important for MCQ. The seven Saptarishi or the seven priorities of the government for the year 2023-24. So now we'll start today's part or the next part. Now the government has recognized the four transformative opportunities for the year 2023-24. First is economic empowerment of women. यहाँ पे the government wants that previously the government was supporting the small help groups, MSMEs of women-led enterprises in villages, in tier 2, tier 3 cities. Now the government wants to make them bigger and wants to support them to make them producer enterprises and collectives. So women-led SSGs will be an opportunity where the government wants them to make a bigger number. The next is PM Vishwakarma Kaushal Samman or PM Vikas. This is for traditional artisans, craftsperson. Here, the government aims to establish a full economy for these traditional artisans, craftspeople, supply chain, a storage facility, a whole cyclic approach will be developed for these traditional artisans and craftspersons. The next important sector is tourism. As we know, many schemes like Prasad, Heritage, the train circuit schemes. We know that India has a lot of opportunity for tourism development, and during COVID, tourism sector went to a back off. So now this is a very big opportunity. Recently, the Ganga Villas was inaugurated, the longest river tourism setup. Next is the green growth. As we know, India is a pioneer in green growth, be it the International Solar Alliance, President Modi always presenting leadership for green energy and everything. So, green growth is another opportunity where India or the Indian government sees for 23-24. Next, we'll start with discussion on our seven Saptarishi. I hope you remember all these. So we'll start with the first one, which is the inclusive development. So the inclusive development has 5 points. First is agriculture, next is cooperatives, health, education, skill development. Now we'll try to remember these. A, C, H, E, S, X. X और दर्द, हिंदी में दर्द. Now A से agriculture, C से cooperative, H से health, E से education, and S से skill development. So I hope you all remember what all are the components of inclusive development using this mnemonics, which is X or that. Now we'll see each part. First, we'll start with agriculture and cooperative, A and C. So, what the government seeks to do is, first is building digital public infrastructure. Now, a lot of focus has been there previously also on building digital public infrastructure. Now, the government wants to take this initiative in the agriculture sector so that the data is freely available to all startups and research groups. It will be open source, it will be open standard and interoperable. This will help us to promote agri-tech. Now, under Atmanirbhar Bharat, horticulture clean plant program to be launched. So we know that Indian exports, faces a lot of issues under the WTO conventions such as phytosanitary measures, and many of our agricultural product or horticulture product gets rejected by the EU, citing the sanitary issues. So this is a way the government is trying to boost production of high valued horticulture crops and to produce clean plant program so that our imports increase in horticulture too. Next, making India global hub for millets, which is Shriyan. So you must be aware that this is the year as declared by the FAO as the global year for millet, and this was the initiative of India. Millets has been renamed as Shriyan since there is no name in Hindi, which specifically caters to the family of millets. So government has named millets as Shriyan. IIMR Hyderabad has been made the nodal agency for promoting research in millet. And the important point is that India is the largest producer and the second largest exporter of millet. This is important for MCQ. Now, setting up agriculture accelerator funds. This is for agri-tech startups, specifically in rural area. Next, 20 lakh crore agriculture credit targeted at animal husbandry. So a budget of 20 lakh crore has been sanctioned this year for the agriculture sector, and this is specifically targeted at animal husbandry, dairy, and fisheries. Another new sub-scheme is to be launched under PM Matsya Yojana, which is not yet named in the budget. It will be soon out in the public. Now, setting up a widely available storage capacity, since we know India is a diverse country and seasons keep on changing here. So, our products, agriculture products, are prone to diseases, prone to get rotten. So, government is setting up widely available storage capacity for longer shelf life of our agri products. Besides that, there will be computerization of all PACs. There will be a national database of cooperatives and decentralization of storage capacity. So, why do we need a national database of cooperatives? Because cooperatives come under the state list of the state in which it is incorporated. Cooperatives which function under multiple states come under the jurisdiction of center. So a lot of data is not shared with everyone. Some cooperatives are functioning just under a particular state and some are under center. To make this more cohesive, more comprehensive, a national database of cooperatives will be created so that there is a common database for all the cooperatives and there is easy transaction and financial inclusion of all the cooperatives present in all states across the nation. Next, we have seen more credit to agriculture sector. So here we see around 20 lakh crore is given for financial year 22. We have also seen a record food grain production, around 320 million tons. Next, we go to the health. We are done with A, C. Now we are at H. So health, 157 new nursing colleges will be established. There will be a new program to promote research and pharmaceutical. Sickle cell anemia elimination mission is to be launched. Now here, important question that can be from science and tech is what is sickle cell anemia? What happens to your RBCs in sickle cell anemia? So, in what do the RBCs play a role in is the RBCs have hemoglobin attached on its surface, which helps to carry oxygen in our body, in our blood. In a sickle cell RBC, the shape of the RBC becomes like a sickle. Now the surface area of this RBC has reduced, so it will carry lesser blood. So you need to go and read what anemia is and what are the different types of anemia and how sickle cell anemia is more dangerous. Next, there will be a joint public and private medical research to be encouraged with selected ICMR labs. So next we are done with A, C, H, and now we are at E and S, education and skilling. So there will be a revamped District Institute of Education and Training. Now the focus has been shifted from student training or student skilling to teacher training, which was very important. The National Digital Library will be set up for children and adolescents, and the state will be encouraged to set up physical libraries at panchayat and ward level. There will be vibrant institutes of excellence. There will be a focus on culture of reading because during the pandemic, students and youth has lost the touch of books, the habit of reading, and more of digital interaction was there. There has been a loss of learning time, so the government is focusing on building a culture of reading. There will be a quality availability of quality books across geography and genre. Next, we see the budget expenditure. We have seen an increase in health expenditure from 1.4 to 2.1% of GDP, and a very minor increase in education budget. This should have been increased a lot as suggested by various committees. Uh, so we'll see what takes place after the new education policy comes in action. Next, so these 5 questions were previously posted on our Telegram group, and I hope you have answered it. For those who have not answered it, I would like you to pause the video at this moment and write down your answers in the comment section. So I hope you have written down your answers in the comment section. So we'll discuss these questions one by one. So the first question, you have to choose the correct statement. The word budget is mentioned in Article 112 of the Constitution. No, the word budget is not mentioned in the Article 112 of the Constitution. Article 112 directs division of annual financial statement between revenue and expenditure. Yes, this is correct. We read about this in the first slide, the introduction slide. So the correct statement is option 2. Next, which all are part of non-tax revenue. So what all are non-tax revenue? So it was a very simple question. If you know the difference about what are taxes and what are non-taxes, you can easily reach the answer through elimination. So we know that GST is a type of indirect tax. So we'll cut out all the options with 1, and we know the answer is 2 and 4. Now, disinvestment is non-tax revenue because this the government gets by selling some of its share in its companies and PSUs. Corporate tax is again tax. There is what, even if we don't know what type of tax, we know that it is a tax. License fee, yes, this is a non-tax revenue. License fees government gets through issuing various licenses, that is not a tax. And personal income tax, now again we know this is a tax. Question 3, choose the incorrect statement. So the non-performing assets has steadily decreased in the last 5 years. This is a correct statement. We have to choose the incorrect statement. The GST collection has steadily increased in last 5 years. No, the GST collection has staggered or stabilized around 1.5 lakh crore. So it has neither increased nor decreased. It has stabilized around 1.5 lakh crore. So the incorrect answer is, the incorrect statement is statement 2. That means B. Now we go to question number 4. Which of the following is not a vision of Amrit Kal as mentioned in the budget financial year 23-24? Creating opportunity for youth, job creation for youth, stabilizing macroeconomic factors, and uplifting the women. So we had read that there were 3 visions of Amrit Kal, and uplifting of women was not one of them. It was focusing on citizens with specially creating opportunities for youth. Second was job creation and skilling for youth. And the third was first, focusing on the macroeconomic factors. The last question, Union budget has projected a fiscal deficit of 5.9%. Fiscal deficit is measured against which? We know this is GDP. through this question, we know why graphs in our economic survey or in a budget is important. A basic question for the basics of a graph given by the government can be asked. So this is it for this session. I hope you enjoyed it and you learned. Do comment your reviews in the comment section. Follow us on Instagram. Join our Telegram group where daily MCQs are posted, and the PDF for this session will also be posted there. And stay connected. And the next lecture will come out soon, and that will be the last lecture for the budget series. Thank you.